Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Louisiana Downs on Saturday, the Grade 3 Super Derby. 3-year-olds for $300,000. Let's take a peek at this field. We're traveling a mile and a 16th. Your morning line favorite is Knicks Go, a Grade 1 stakes winner as a 2-year-old. He did win the Breeders' Futurity at a giant price. Backed that up with a runner-up effort in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And Mike, he's still searching to regain that form.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I guess he finally ran better last time in the Ellis Park Derby. He did run a career best 92 buyer that day. I still don't like that race from him, Dan. You know, he didn't break running in that race, but he was absolutely loose on the lead in there until about the 5/16 pole. Got challenged by Gray Magician. Gray Magician's a nice horse, but I didn't see the excuse for Knicks Go not to win last time. I can't bet him back in this race as he stretches back out again.
We'll talk more about Knicks Go in a minute, but let's look at the Timeform US Pace Projector because we know Knicks Go is one way of running, is really to go to the front. And Timeform US believes that this is a red bar scenario, indicating that it could be a fast pace. Visit timeformus.com for updated pace projectors post scratches. If Knicks Go is able to get the lead, he should be tough because he's probably the classiest of the pace horses. You do have Cabot stretching out in distance. They can push him. Pirate's Punch has got some speed as well. We'll get to them in a moment. But let's start with the number 1 Rotation horse that finished 4th in the local prep race for the Super Derby. That was the Prelude. This horse did not break very well at all, came with a bit of a run, can certainly improve for the dangerous Steve Asmussen.
Right. I mean, listen, the Prelude, I think 5 of these horses coming back out of the Prelude, just to, not to give anybody in there necessarily short shrift. I thought the winner, Leader of Men, ran fine. If I'm taking anybody out of that race, I'm taking Rotation. He broke right on his face in that race. It cost him a good 10 lengths. So I think if you want to bet anybody out of the race, I think you probably take him. My problem with him more than anything else is I don't really love his other races. So I didn't really want him. But if I'm betting anybody out of that race, it's certainly going to be Rotation.
But if he breaks with this inside post position, he could probably work out a good mid-pack trip behind a hot pace. And this Asmussen son of Tappet, trained son of Tappet, he probably is getting good maybe now at the right time. He looks like a late developer to me. Cabot is trained by Ron Moquette. This is going to be his first route to start. He has sprinted on 5 occasions. We were taken by his maiden win at Oaklawn Park in his second lifetime start. He caught a sloppy track that I don't really think he likes in his subsequent outing. And then the Chicklang, I just think something went wrong because that race is too bad to be true, and it preceded a little bit of a layoff. Let's go back to his return effort, going 6th, only a non-winners of 2 life, but against some older horses, we see him buried down inside right now. He's the gray in behind this leader, Bump Bailey, going to get to the outside, takes him a while to straighten out, but he levels off, and I like that he gets this horse.
Yeah, I like that too. A good finish for him to get up in this race, and it felt like off the layoff, this was a little bit of education because he broke running in here. They could have made the lead with him. And they made a concerted effort to take him back and put him behind horses. I like that he was able to get up at the end. Distance is a really big question for him, but I don't question his talent. I think he's a pretty talented horse.
Pirate's Punch is the number 3, and it just looks like they figured out his running style in the last couple of races, and that is just let him run. Put him on the lead in his last 2. It helps when you're running against 30,000 maiden claimers at Ellis and make the lead. It helps when you're running against non-winners of one other than an Indiana Grand and making the lead. This is a different story with Knicks Go in the race.
There's just so much more pace in this race. It has to be harder for him. I respect the fact that he's now 2 for 2 in his last 2 starts routing, but he's just going to have to run better. He got absolutely loose on the lead last time.
Van Glider has won his last 2 dirt appearances, and he would really want a fast pace up front as he got last time out at Albuquerque. We're going to see Van Glider come with a big closing finish in this race. I thought it was visually impressive. Here's the problem. The race has come back slow, but he's trained by Asmussen, who's taking a shot with a reformed claimer.
Yeah, he's won 2 dirt routes in a row. This was a pretty nice late run he puts in here. I don't think he's beaten the greatest field in the world, but he's finishing at the end. There's a pace in this race. Most likely anyway, to set him up. Maybe he can come running to get a piece.
I think Trevillon is a long shot that you might want to consider. He has won from off the pace. He has won from on. He is adaptable. He is lightly raced. There is some upside here. The buyers are going the right way. He is going to be a price because you've got some big name trainers in this race, some big name horses like Knicks Go. His Prelude, yes, he had a much easier trip than Rotation down on the rail, but it was another step in the right direction. And I think he sits today.
It was another step in the right direction. You're right. He can get a different trip in this race. Maybe it works out. I thought he ran the 3rd best race last time. So to me, that means he's got work to do.
Rescind, it's too early to say whether Rescind is merely a turf horse. He's only raced 3 times in his career. Both of his wins have come on turf, but the first start of his career as a 2-year-old going 2 turns in an off the turf race, well, it really wasn't bad at all. And this horse has just taken money every single time. Something tells me that this horse is going to be okay down the road. I wonder if this is too much too soon.
Yeah, it's not surprising. He's taken money every single time when he goes for Al Stahl, who just wins just about every race at Louisiana Downs. I like his last 2 races on turf, and I'm with you. I don't think you have to pigeonhole him as a turf horse yet. He's a half brother to a Super Derby winner in a part, so he should be able to handle the dirt in here, and he's got tactical speed.
Fredonian adds blinkers, and maybe that will help this horse focus a little bit. To me, he seems like the kind of runner, though, that's going to need a few things to work in his favor. Likely a fast pace, likely some horses regressing, and then him moving up big time. But at 20-1, I think there are worse long shots to consider for your tries.
Yeah, I won't knock him at a big price, but he's got a lot of improving to do.
Let's talk about now your morning line favorite, the 8 Knicks Go. We mentioned his accolades and exploits as a 2-year-old. You mentioned the Ellis Park Derby, where it looked like he was slowly getting back to his best form. They turned to the stretch in the Ellis Derby. He had the lead. Remember, this is like a 1.5-turn mile race. He's going to have to stretch out. Gray Magician is not a bad horse at all. And I thought Knicks Go, for the first time in a while, actually showed a little bit of fight once passed in the stretch. In his previous races, he gave up very willingly. I think he's slowly rounding back into form. And against this field, if he gets the lead, he's going to be tough. Here's the problem. It's kind of an underlay.
Yeah, to me, he's a big underlay in the race. That doesn't mean he's not the horse to beat. I guess he is. I can't forgive him for losing that last race, even if it was to a slightly better horse. I don't want him at a short price.
How can you knock Leader of Men? All this horse has done is win his last 4 races. Doesn't matter whether it's turf, whether it's dirt, whether it's fast, whether it's sloppy. Distance of ground, no problem. We know he is the horse for course that likes the hometown cooking, and he gets the right pace situation. I'm assuming they're going to break. They're going to let Knicks Go get to the front. He's going to try to get as close to the rail as possible. Come with a kick. Why not Leader of Men?
Yeah, why not? I mean, listen, it wasn't the most visually impressive win last time, but he was, a good 4 or 5 wide all the way around the turn going up to challenge for it. And he stayed on best at the end. He ran fine last time. And
usually when folks see ones, those horses get pounded. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be the case in this situation. This horse wins, and he continues to be disrespected. He was 8-1 in the Prelude. Here's Paint Battle, the number 10. This horse ran 3rd in the Prelude. Just wasn't there for the jock at the end of that race when he was called upon. Again, he's an honest horse, but you have to remember, it was only a few months ago that he was in for 12-5.
Yeah, right. I mean, when you go back and watch the replay of that race, obviously everybody save rotation who had a big excuse. They all had a shot at it through the stretch. This horse he was there. He just didn't have enough at the end. And another effort like that's not going to get him anything in here. Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Super Derby. And I did mention that my top pick, Knicks Go, is an underlay, but I'm going to try to get Trevelyan into the exacta. I think this horse is moving forward at the right time. I think he's versatile, and I think he can at least get up for second. And if you want to play an exacta box, it obviously pays more the other way. 8-5-7-2 for me. You have always been a big fan for Cabot, and you are confident that he will stretch out. I'm just going to give him a chance to stretch out in here. I don't know how confident I am. I just feel like maybe he gets the right trip in here. And I just think he's a pretty talented horse. I'll give him a shot in here, especially if he's around that morning line price. I went 2-1-8.
It is the Grade 3 Super Derby, a 300 grander at Louisiana Downs on Saturday. Race number 11 is an approximate post of 5:07 Central. Good luck.